Noah sprinted through the glowing jungle, heart hammering like a drum in his chest. Mist swirled around him, sticky and damp, clinging to his clothes and hair. The soft bioluminescent glow from the jungle floor and luminescent vines illuminated his path, but even that light felt like it wasn't enough. Somewhere behind him, a guttural roar shattered the calm. The Unbound One was close, and its presence made the very air heavy and electric. The hybrid creature that had been guiding him darted between the glowing roots, moving faster than Noah could ever hope to run. Its eyes glowed in the mist, pulsing like beacons, and its tail flicked behind it, releasing tiny sparks of soft blue light that bounced across the mossy ground. Noah followed, stumbling occasionally over thick roots and glowing vines, adrenaline keeping him upright. Ahead, the jungle twisted into a narrow canyon, the walls lined with enormous roots and glowing mushrooms, their light reflecting off puddles in the rocky soil. Noah's breath came in shallow gasps as he reached the canyon. For a moment, he thought he might be safe, but a shadow passed overhead, massive and swift. The Unbound One had found him. The creature was enormous, far larger than anything Noah had ever seen. Its limbs were long and muscular, tipped with sharp claws that scraped the stone as it moved. Its glowing eyes pierced through the mist, fixated on him. Each step it took caused the jungle floor to tremble slightly, as if the entire lower realm acknowledged its dominance. Noah felt a wave of fear, sharp and almost paralyzing, but he forced himself to think. He had the glowing seed in his backpack, the same one that had drawn the forest's attention. Perhaps it held the key to survival, but he didn't fully understand how. He had no time to analyze. All he could do was move. He turned sharply at the canyon bend, narrowly avoiding a thrashing vine that had twisted down like a living whip. The hybrid creature leapt ahead, letting out a sharp, commanding sound that echoed across the cavern. Noah followed instinctively, trusting it, even as his mind screamed that danger was closing in. The path opened into a vast underground clearing. Towering crystalline trees stretched toward the ceiling, their leaves glowing in shifting hues of blue, purple, and gold. Pools of luminescent water dotted the ground, reflecting shards of soft light that made the cavern look like a dreamscape. But Noah couldn't admire it, danger lurked everywhere. The Unbound One's roar echoed again, louder, and the shadows of its massive form flitted across the crystal surfaces. Then, he saw movement from above. Glowing vines swung from the ceiling, dropping down like nets. Noah dodged one just in time, but it left him off balance. He stumbled, scraping his knee, and the hybrid creature growled warningly. The ground trembled beneath him as the Unbound One drew closer. Suddenly, a series of smaller glowing creatures, previously hidden among the plants, emerged. They hovered in the air, emitting soft pulses of golden light. The hybrid creature hissed, urging Noah to keep moving. The smaller beings formed a shimmering wall in front of him. For a split second, Noah wondered if they were helping or testing him, but then the Unbound One smashed into the clearing with an earth-shaking impact, scattering the light and vines. Noah dove behind a crystal tree, clutching his backpack tightly. His heart pounded. The Unbound One's massive claws tore through the forest floor, splintering crystals and roots alike. Dust and glowing particles filled the air, making it hard to see. Noah's breaths came. In sharp gasps, each one louder than the last, echoing in the cavern like a trumpet. He remembered the words of the tree being from the previous chamber, "The jungle chooses, and tonight, it has chosen you." Maybe the glowing seed wasn't just a key, maybe it was a shield or a weapon. Noah forced himself to act. He pulled it from his bag. The golden blue energy pulsed violently, casting light in all directions. The Unbound One paused, its glowing eyes fixing on the seed. Its claws trembled slightly. Noah took the chance. He raised the seed above his head, letting its energy pulse outward. A wave of light spread across the cavern, illuminating the smaller glowing creatures, the crystalline trees, and the cavern walls. The Unbound One roared, a deep, resonating sound, and retreated slightly, shielding its eyes. Noah didn't wait. He ran, guided by the hybrid creature, dodging roots, glowing vines, and pools of luminescent water. The jungle itself seemed to shift in response, roots curling to create bridges, vines lifting just enough to make paths, almost as if the forest itself was helping him escape. After what felt like an eternity, he stumbled into a narrow tunnel. The hybrid creature paused at the entrance, glowing eyes scanning the darkness ahead. Noah followed, crouching low. Behind them, the tremors and roars of the Unbound One faded slightly, though not completely. The cavern system extended endlessly, twisting and turning, walls glimmering with embedded crystals that pulsed faintly with every step. Noah's thoughts raced. He didn't know where the tunnel led, but for the first time since his crash, he felt a spark of hope. The forest had not abandoned him. The glowing seed, the hybrid creature, even the trees, they were all signs that he might survive this. But the Unbound One was still out there, and he could feel it. Watching. Waiting. Hunting. He glanced at the seed one last time, its glow steady and comforting. Then he tightened his grip on his backpack and whispered to the hybrid creature, "Lead the way. I'll follow." And so, Noah ventured deeper into the labyrinthine tunnels of the lower realm, unaware of the hidden chambers, ancient secrets, and even stranger creatures awaiting him. The hunt was far from over, and the forest was far from revealing all of its mysteries. Noah's legs burned as he ran, lungs heaving in the thick, misty air. Behind him, the Unbound One's thunderous footsteps shook the jungle floor, sending glowing dust and mist swirling around him like a storm. Every instinct screamed for him to stop, to hide, to surrender, but the glowing seed pulsed in his hands, reminding him that he was not helpless. The hybrid creature at his side leapt nimbly over a fallen tree, its eyes glowing like lanterns in the mist. It hissed sharply, alerting Noah to the shadows creeping along the walls of the tunnel. They weren't just chasing him, they were shaping the jungle itself. Every plant, root, and vine seemed to react to the presence of the Unbound One, twisting, curling, and stretching to block or open pathways. Noah realized that this part of the jungle wasn't just alive, it was conscious, and it was aware of him. He stumbled onto a narrow ledge over a glowing river, its water shimmering in ripples of electric blue and gold. Below, strange creatures skittered across the luminous pools, six-legged insects with wings like molten glass, and small reptilian beasts with bioluminescent patterns on their backs. Noah's heart raced. He couldn't stop to observe, he had to keep moving. Ahead, the tunnel widened into a massive underground clearing, its walls covered in enormous roots pulsating with energy. At the center stood a colossal tree, its trunk twisted and glowing from within like molten crystal. Noah stopped for a brief second, mesmerized. The hybrid creature pressed against him, urging him forward. It was almost as if the jungle was guiding him, showing him the way to something important, but at the same time warning him of imminent danger. Then he heard it, a low, resonating growl that vibrated through the roots and soil. The Unbound One had entered the clearing. Its shadow stretched across the glowing forest like an eclipse, massive and menacing. The beast's eyes burned like molten fire, and its claws scraped along the crystal-like ground, leaving glowing streaks in their wake. Noah gripped the glowing seed tightly, its pulse synchronizing with the thrumming heartbeat of the jungle. Something shifted in the air. The giant tree at the center began to sway slightly, its roots lifting like massive tentacles. A deep voice, ancient and resonant, echoed in the clearing, vibrating through the walls and into Noah's bones. "Child of the lost path, the forest has awakened for you." Noah froze. His pulse raced, but he realized this was no ordinary voice. It came from the tree itself, the heart of the breathing jungle. The hybrid creature hissed softly, circling around him, as if guarding him. A narrow bridge of glowing roots suddenly extended from the base of the tree, leading to a glowing platform high above the clearing. Noah didn't hesitate. He sprinted toward it, leaping over roots and gaps with the hybrid creature guiding him. The Unbound One lunged after him, but its massive form was slowed by the jungle's protective energy. Vines shot up from the ground, wrapping around its legs, pulling it back temporarily. Noah reached the platform, panting, clutching the seed. From this vantage point, he could see the full scope of the underground forest, towering crystal trees, glowing rivers, bioluminescent flowers, and countless shadows moving just beyond the light. He realized that the forest itself was alive, a sentient being guarding its secrets, and that he had somehow been chosen to witness it. The hybrid creature nudged him toward the center of the platform. There, a hollow in the tree trunk glowed brighter than anything Noah had seen. It pulsed rhythmically, in sync with the glowing seed. Hesitantly, he placed the seed into the hollow. A surge of light erupted, filling the clearing with golden-blue radiance. The unbound one roared, blinded temporarily, its form twisting and writhing as the energy spread across the cavern. Noah felt the jungle beneath him vibrate, roots lifting, vines swaying, and the air humming with power. The seed and the tree were connected, he understood that now. Suddenly, visions flooded his mind. He saw the ancient civilization that had once inhabited this jungle, planting glowing trees, creating harmony between creatures, and guarding the underground sanctuaries. He saw the unbound one's origin, a creature born from imbalance, an ancient protector gone rogue. And he saw his purpose. He was not merely a visitor, he was a key to restoring the balance. The visions ended abruptly, leaving Noah gasping. The unbound one, still partially blinded, roared again and lunged forward. But this time, the jungle itself responded. Roots surged from the ground, vines wrapped around the creature's limbs, and glowing barriers of energy rose, pushing it back. The hybrid creature stood at Noah's side, hissing, glowing with radiant energy. Noah realized he had only scratched the surface of the jungle's secrets. The unbound one was not defeated, it had been restrained, but it would return, stronger, smarter, and more relentless. He needed to prepare, to explore deeper, to understand the jungle's power before the next encounter. The jungle around him seemed to exhale, its bioluminescent glow pulsing gently. The platform beneath him vibrated as if acknowledging his courage. Noah looked at the hybrid creature, feeling a deep bond forming. Together, they would uncover the mysteries, survive the dangers, and confront the unbound one when the time came. With a deep breath, Noah stepped down from the platform. The glowing seed pulsed softly in his backpack, a reminder of the responsibility he now carried. The path ahead twisted deeper into the lower realm, filled with unseen dangers, unimaginable creatures, and secrets waiting to be discovered. As he walked, the jungle's whispers filled the air, soft and melodic, warning him, guiding him, and promising both danger and revelation. The adventure was far from over. The unbound one would strike again, and Noah had to be ready. Noah crouched behind a cluster of glowing ferns, his chest heaving and backpack clutched tightly. The mist in the lower realm seemed to thicken with every heartbeat, curling around his legs like living tendrils. He had managed to put some distance between himself and the unbound one, but he could still feel its presence pressing on the air behind him, an unseen weight that made the jungle itself seem alive, holding its breath. The hybrid creature at his side shifted, alert, its glowing eye scanning the darkness ahead. Its tail twitched nervously, sensing subtle vibrations in the ground that Noah could not. Noah had learned to trust its instincts. In this jungle, every creature had a purpose, and every shadow might conceal danger. He took a cautious step forward, his boots crunching softly against glowing moss. The trees around him pulsed gently, their crystalline trunks radiating a faint golden blue light. It was mesmerizing, almost hypnotic, but Noah forced himself to focus. He had to keep moving. The unbound one had not yet given up its pursuit, and he could feel the pulse of its footsteps through the jungle floor. The path twisted and narrowed, funneling him into a tunnel formed by massive intertwining roots. Noah reached out to steady himself, feeling the subtle vibrations of the jungle as it responded to his presence. Somewhere above, bioluminescent creatures flitted through the air, their wings scattering tiny fragments of light across the walls. The forest was alive in ways he could barely comprehend, and he understood that every step he took was being observed. Ahead, the tunnel opened into a cavern so vast that the glow of the flora barely illuminated the far walls. Noah paused at the entrance, peering into the darkness. He could hear the unbound one moving somewhere deeper, its low growls echoing off the crystal walls. The hybrid creature hissed softly, nudging him forward. Noah took a deep breath and stepped into the cavern. The ground was uneven, scattered with glowing stones and twisted roots. From the shadows, strange creatures emerged, some scuttling along the ground with multiple legs and eyes that reflected the glowing light, others flying overhead with translucent wings like thin sheets of glass. Noah froze briefly, mesmerized by their beauty and strangeness, but the hybrid creature barked sharply, snapping him back to reality. He moved quickly, navigating around the glowing obstacles. At the center of the cavern, he spotted an enormous tree unlike any he had seen before. Its trunk was twisted into spirals, embedded with glowing crystals that hummed softly. Roots sprawled across the cavern floor, forming natural bridges and pathways over pools of bioluminescent water. Noah felt a strange pull toward the tree, as if it contained secrets waiting for him, but he also sensed danger. Suddenly, a shadow streaked across the cavern floor. The Unbound One had found him again. Its eyes burned like molten amber, and the claws of its massive limbs scraped the glowing ground. Noah froze, clutching the glowing seed in his hand. The energy radiating from it pulsed like a heartbeat, and he realized the jungle was reacting to it. Roots lifted, vines twisted, and some of the smaller glowing creatures darted in front of him, forming a barrier between him and the monster. Noah didn't wait. He sprinted along a natural bridge of roots, leaping over the glowing water with the hybrid creature beside him. The Unbound One lunged, its massive form shattering part of the roots, but the jungle itself seemed to bend and move with him. Vines lifted to form a temporary railing, and glowing stones shifted to fill gaps. It was as if the forest itself was guiding him, protecting him, but also testing his courage. At the far end of the cavern, Noah spotted a cluster of glowing crystals embedded into the wall. Their light was brighter than the rest of the jungle, pulsating in rhythm with the seed in his hand. He realized this was more than just a glowing structure, it was a key, perhaps a map or a guide deeper into the jungle's secrets. He approached cautiously, the hybrid creature at his side growling softly as if sensing another danger lurking. Before he could reach the crystals, the Unbound One roared, sending vibrations through the cavern. Smaller glowing creatures scattered in all directions, and some of the larger roots twisted violently, nearly knocking Noah off the bridge. He stumbled but recovered, placing his hand on the crystal cluster. A surge of energy shot through the cavern, lighting every corner in dazzling brilliance. The Unbound One recoiled, shielding its eyes. Noah felt a rush of knowledge flow into him. He glimpsed the history of the jungle, the ancient civilization that had once thrived here, the balance they had maintained with the creatures, and the mistakes that had unleashed the Unbound One. He saw visions of hidden chambers, glowing sanctuaries, and creatures yet to be discovered. As the energy faded, the Unbound One slowly advanced again, its amber eyes burning with fury. Noah backed away slowly, clutching the seed tightly. The hybrid creature hissed and stepped protectively in front of him. He realized that this was only the beginning of a deeper, more dangerous journey. The lower realm had many layers, each more mysterious and treacherous than the last. Noah took a deep breath. The jungle had chosen him to survive, to uncover its secrets, and perhaps to restore balance. The hybrid creature nudged him forward, and together they ventured deeper into the glowing caverns, toward unknown challenges and unimaginable wonders. The Unbound One would not relent. The jungle would not reveal all its secrets at once. And Noah, though small and fragile compared to the forces around him, had begun to understand that courage, cunning, and trust in the jungle itself were his only path to survival. Noah's heart pounded as he navigated deeper into the lower realm. The glowing root pathways twisted and coiled like living serpents, and the mist hung thick in the air, curling around his boots and clothing. Each step seemed heavier than the last, as if the jungle itself was testing his resolve. The hybrid creature walked close, its glowing eyes scanning the darkness, ears twitching at sounds Noah could barely hear. The Unbound One's roars echoed in the distance, a constant reminder that danger was never far behind. Yet, Noah couldn't let fear paralyze him. The glowing seed in his backpack pulsed in perfect rhythm with the jungle, casting soft light around him. It was his guide, his shield, and perhaps even his key to surviving this uncharted realm. Ahead, the roots parted into an enormous chamber. The walls shimmered with embedded crystals that reflected the bioluminescent light in kaleidoscopic patterns. Noah paused at the entrance, taking in the sheer scale of the underground sanctuary. He could feel the energy here, the jungle's heartbeat was stronger, almost palpable, vibrating through his bones. The hybrid creature let out a low hiss, nudging him forward. "Stay close," it seemed to say. Noah moved cautiously, stepping over luminous roots and avoiding glowing fungi that seemed almost sentient. He noticed faint carvings on the cavern walls, ancient symbols intertwined with depictions of glowing creatures, enormous beasts, and the Unbound One itself. The walls told a story, one the jungle had kept hidden for centuries. Noah approached the center of the sanctuary, where a massive pool of glowing water reflected the crystalline ceiling above. From its depths emerged shapes, strange, ethereal creatures, their bodies shimmering like liquid light. Some hovered above the water, delicate and insect-like, while others moved along the ground, their multiple legs creating soft ripples in the pool. The hybrid creature growled softly, sensing something Noah didn't. Then, a sudden shift in the air made him freeze. From the shadows at the far edge of the chamber, the Unbound One emerged, massive and terrifying, its amber eyes glowing with fury. Its claws scraped against the crystalline floor, sending shards of light scattering in every direction. Noah's pulse raced as the creature advanced, but he noticed something unusual. The Unbound One hesitated, almost cautious, as though aware of the sanctuary's power. Noah realized that this place was not just a refuge, it was a sacred ground, protected by the jungle itself. He clutched the glowing seed tightly, feeling it resonate with the energy of the chamber. A wave of confidence surged through him. Perhaps he could not fight the Unbound One head-on, but he could use the sanctuary to his advantage. He darted toward a cluster of glowing vines that arched over the pool like a bridge, with the hybrid creature following closely. The Unbound One roared, smashing part of the roots, but several glowing tendrils from the sanctuary's plants shot up to block its advance. Noah leapt across the pool, landing on a floating patch of glowing moss, and realized the sanctuary seemed to shift and move, creating paths only for him and his companion. The Unbound One's roars echoed louder, shaking the chamber. Yet, Noah felt an odd harmony between himself and the jungle. The glowing seed pulsed in sync with the sanctuary's energy, illuminating the path ahead. Tiny bioluminescent creatures hovered around him, guiding his movements like flickering lanterns. Suddenly, a portion of the cavern wall opened into a hidden passage, previously concealed by the glowing vines. Noah glanced at the hybrid creature, which nodded subtly. He stepped into the passage, feeling a surge of anticipation mixed with unease. He knew that the Unbound One was still out there, watching, calculating, waiting for the right moment to strike. The hidden passage led to a spiraling tunnel, its walls embedded with glowing crystals that pulsed softly with the jungle's energy. Noah realized that the sanctuary was leading him deeper, not just to survive, but to uncover secrets even the Unbound One feared. Every step was a test, a challenge, and a revelation. As they moved deeper, Noah glimpsed a strange phenomenon, floating orbs of light that seemed to respond to his presence. They drifted gently ahead, illuminating symbols on the walls, diagrams of creatures, glowing plants, and powerful artifacts. Noah felt a surge of understanding. The jungle had chosen him not merely to survive but to learn, to restore balance, and perhaps to tame the chaos represented by the Unbound One. Yet the danger was far from over. He could feel the Unbound One stalking him, its presence weaving through the shadows of the sanctuary. Every pulse of the seed, every glow of the crystals, every movement of the jungle seemed to signal one truth: Noah was being tested, and only his courage, cunning, and trust in the jungle would see him through. The hybrid creature hissed softly, and Noah looked at it. Together, they had survived impossible encounters, navigated glowing mazes, and evaded a creature of unimaginable power. But this was only the beginning of a deeper, more perilous journey. The hidden passage wound further downward, and beyond it lay secrets and dangers that had been untouched for centuries. With a deep breath, Noah tightened his grip on the glowing seed, adjusted his backpack, and followed the hybrid creature into the spiraling depths. The sanctuary hummed around him, alive and vibrant, full of ancient energy, waiting for the next chapter of his journey to unfold. Noah stepped cautiously into the spiraling tunnel, the glowing crystals on the walls illuminating his path with a soft golden blue light. The hybrid creature at his side moved silently, its glowing eyes scanning every shadow. The air was thick with mist and the hum of unseen creatures, their luminescent wings flickering like tiny stars. For the first time, Noah felt that the jungle was not just alive, it was watching him, testing him, and guiding him toward something far greater than he could imagine. Ahead, the tunnel opened into an enormous chamber. The ceiling was lost in shadow, but the walls shimmered with living crystal, radiating energy that pulsed in rhythm with the glowing seed in Noah's backpack. The floor was a mosaic of bioluminescent pools, roots, and glowing plants, forming a labyrinthine pattern that shifted subtly as he walked. Every step Noah took sent ripples through the light and mist, and he realized the jungle itself was alive in a conscious, protective way. Then, from the shadows, the Unbound One emerged once more, its amber eyes ablaze, its massive claws scraping the crystalline ground. Noah's pulse quickened, but this time he felt something different. He was ready. The seed pulsed with energy, responding to the jungle's heartbeat. The hybrid creature hissed, and suddenly the glowing plants around them surged forward, vines twisting to form a protective barrier between Noah and the creature. Noah sprinted across the shifting terrain, vaulting over glowing roots and pools. The Unbound One lunged, but the jungle itself seemed to resist it. Glowing tendrils shot from the walls, wrapping around its limbs and slowing its advance. Noah felt exhilaration mingled with terror. He had survived countless encounters, and now, for the first time, he understood the bond between himself, the jungle, and the seed. The chamber narrowed, leading to a massive crystal archway. The light from the walls pulsed in a synchronized rhythm, guiding Noah and the hybrid creature forward. Shadows danced across the floor, revealing glimpses of strange, mystical creatures lurking in the corners. Some were harmless, darting away from their path, while others moved cautiously, watching the confrontation unfold. At the center of the chamber lay a massive crystal pedestal, engraved with ancient symbols. The hybrid creature nudged Noah toward it, urging him to place the glowing seed on the pedestal. Noah hesitated for a moment, sensing the energy radiating from it. The jungle around him seemed to hold its breath. With a deep exhale, he set the seed into the hollow of the pedestal. Immediately, a surge of golden-blue energy erupted, sending waves of light cascading through the chamber. The Unbound One roared, blinded by the brilliance, and its massive form twisted and reeled. The jungle responded with overwhelming power, roots lifted, glowing vines shot upward, and bioluminescent pools shimmered violently, forming barriers and pathways that trapped the creature temporarily. Noah stepped back, watching in awe as the energy pulsed around him. He felt visions flooding his mind, images of the ancient civilization that had built this sanctuary, the harmony they maintained with the creatures, and the reason the Unbound One had been unleashed. He saw the potential for balance, for restoring the jungle's order, and he understood that the seed was the key. The Unbound One, though restrained, was not defeated. It howled in frustration, its massive form thrashing against the roots and vines. Noah's breath caught as he realized the fight was far from over, but he also knew that he had gained a powerful advantage. The jungle itself had chosen him as its guardian, and the seed had amplified his connection to its energy. He looked at the hybrid creature, its glowing eyes reflecting determination and trust. Together, they had survived the uncharted depths, navigated deadly encounters, and uncovered the hidden heart of the jungle. But even as the energy settled and the Unbound One retreated into the shadows, Noah sensed that this was only the beginning of a much larger journey. With the seed secured and the chamber calm for the moment, Noah and the hybrid creature stepped cautiously back onto the glowing path. The jungle hummed softly around them, as if acknowledging their courage and guiding them toward the next challenge. The lower realm still held countless secrets, unimaginable creatures, and hidden dangers that would test his survival skills, courage, and determination. Noah's gaze drifted upward, toward faint shafts of light piercing through the ceiling, illuminating distant pathways. He knew that each step forward would be a risk, but he was no longer just a visitor in this jungle. He was becoming a part of it, and it a part of him. The hybrid creature nudged him forward, and together they ventured into the unknown, deeper into the heart of the hidden jungle. Somewhere in the shadows, the Unbound One lurked, waiting for its next opportunity. The adventure was far from over, the mysteries were far from solved, and the jungle's heartbeat pulsed in harmony with Noah's own. The story was far from finished. The hidden jungle held more wonders, more dangers, and more secrets yet to be revealed.